Alright, welcome to another edition of Walking and Talking with Phoenix. This one's completely off air. I haven't planned or preconceived any ideas of exactly what points I'm going to make or why or where I'm heading with this talk. But I know it's got something to do with looking good. So today one of my co-managers, Annette, she came back from Afghanistan. Really, she went up to Adelaide or Melbourne or somewhere, and for a week. She got back today, and to celebrate, I thought I'd do something special and wear a tie. And interestingly, I noticed that, depending how I dress when I'm working, it has a different effect on how I end up performing, how much effort I put into it, how I hold myself, how I move, and all those different things. And I've always thought that was interesting, that how one dresses affects how one conducts themselves, and very greatly determines their confidence in what they can do and what they can't do, as well as their anxieties. I think every different look that you have, whether it's dressing up in a savvy suit with a tie, this will make me feel more confident in terms of, people will take me more seriously, listen to what I have to say with maybe a bit more respect, and it's just this air of confidence and charisma and charm and power, and it's nice. With that said, I'd probably be less inclined to be crude and rude and rough around the edges, because it doesn't fit in with the appearance. It's out of context, and therefore spells catastrophe in some degree, even small. So I guess maybe that's the point. How you dress sets the context and the range in which you can express yourself, and the confidence that you have to express yourself in whatever way works with how you look. That's always interesting. Like today, I noticed I was a lot more diligent at my job as a waiter. I was a lot more determined to make sure that I did everything properly, as quickly as I could, as professionally as I could, standing upright with a smile, and even just my mannerisms, smoother and all that, simply because I added a tie. I thought adding a waistcoat to my typical jeans and shirt made me, like Superman with a cape, like working twice as quick, twice as hard. Just adding a freaking tie, that tripled my efforts, tripled my speed. Not really, but there was a noticeable difference, I think, and I became a lot more meticulous in doing a much better job, because of that's, I guess, the expectations of somebody who dresses like this. You would see in a high-end, upper class kind of restaurant, maybe people that actually wear suits, who don't waste any time and do their job very well. So if I look like that, I'm probably going to try and do that, replicate that same behavior, so it's not out of place. When I go to work and I'm just wearing a shirt and jeans and a bandana, I don't have to be standing up so straight. I don't have to be so smooth around the edges. I could be cruder and ruder and more casual, and interacting with people, which is cool. I can be funnier. Not that I can't be funny now, like this, but it's just different, And yeah, I thought that's cool. So here's an idea. Here's a point. It's actually leading somewhere. What I like to do, and this is what I've been doing for years, and I've always liked to do this, is experiment with my dress code. There's not really a code. The only code is change. For me, I like to always keep things changing. I've got some principles which never move, and they hold true constantly, but they are the only constant, these principles. Besides that, everything else changes. And I like it. It keeps things fresh, keeps things from becoming predictable and stagnating and making me feel like I'm boxed in to a set way. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm setting like concrete. I like to feel that I'm always, so to speak, fitting myself into a new suit and trying to feel that suit and become the man that fits that suit. You know what I mean? And if you keep changing suits and different outfits, then you become a greater range of different people to suit those outfits. So it allows you to explore different aspects of your personality, to experience confidence in ways that you couldn't before, as well as restrictions and limitations in ways you couldn't before, which can be useful as well, learning how to inhibit certain behaviors. Even now, I've noticed I'm strutting. You notice that? You see that strut? I've got a bit of a strut, and I'm not even trying. That's just coming naturally. So, it's an interesting experiment, and that is why I chose the name Phoenix, obviously, because, constant change, constant evolution and adaptation to the ever-changing unirealm. Yeah. And, that occurred, I went through some very tough times in my life. My dad, for whatever reasons, had an absence in my life from when I was 5. He returned when I was 11. And a year later, as well as my friend dying, and my only friend apparently hanging himself, who was only 12 years old in the year 2000, as well as that happening at the age of 12, I moved in with my dad, a year after he came back into my life. So there were a lot of changes going on, losing my friend, my dad returning, moving in with him against my mother's will. So it was a messy move, with her running down the bitumen from the house in Kalamunda, screaming after me in tears. And it was a very hard decision for me to make, but I made it because I realized that my life would be better in the hands of my father at that point, that with his guidance and his contribution and input and discipline, which I needed, I knew that I'd have a much better chance of actually heading somewhere besides where I anticipated I might if I had stayed where I was. So following that, I thought to suit these changes that had happened to me, and in a way to disassociate with my previous birth name, Jamie. My dad started calling me James to disassociate me, I think. But I disassociated myself further and named myself Phoenix, which, because I was dealing with losing my friend at the time. And there's really, really, really heavy things. I'm gonna cross right here now. Really heavy things. And yeah, so it kind of helped me to remove and disconnect from that chapter of my life and the horrible endings, and start off a new ending with a new identity. An identity which represented the resurrection from the flames, for something that had died, being reborn, something new and evolved, stronger and wiser, which is how I felt. Like I was in a new set of shoes and able to walk a new path, forge a new destiny. So I chose Phoenix for that reason. Now I'm 26, I've had the name Phoenix since I was 13. So technically, I've been called Phoenix longer than I've been called Jamie, or at least for as long as my mother. Even now, my mother calls me Phoenix, so really that's my name. I've been referred to it by more people for longer than any other name. And it works. I don't feel, contained by a name like James or Jamie or whatever other name I could have. It's this constant change, which works its way back to my physical appearance instead of the name, which denotes me, signifies me. I like to keep things changing because it allows you to adapt, to evolve, to take on a wider variety of situations with a, more versatile range or capacity to act and provide, different qualities, different strengths. So yeah, so that's the point of all of this, and that's the advice of this all. Try experimenting for a bit and change up into some totally different outfits that you would never usually wear, and take note of any changes in your behavior. And it's obvious, of course you people already understand this concept, dress like a bum and go somewhere in town, and then dress like a rich man and go somewhere, and you'll see how different people react to you, treat you, look at you. And even that's part of the context and the setting, which totally changes how you act, how you feel about yourself and your confidence. But you don't need to dress like a bum, or you don't need to dress like a savvy little prick, a suave little prick, sorry, mind me. But just mix things up, sometimes, I'd be bogan, sometimes I'd be hippie, punk, gothic, metro. Sometimes it'd be whatever the fuck. Ultimately, I'm just me. I'm everything, and I'm nothing absolutely nothing set, but always changing into many different things. Things never get boring with me. I don't get it how people say, oh, I'm bored. Take away your 5 senses for one day. Your ability to smell, see, hear, taste, and touch. And then get your senses returned to you a day later, and you tell me you still get bored. Nah. You only live this life once, and if you get bored, it means you lack imagination, you lack spirit, and you lack heart. I mean, what is there not to appreciate about all of this? Really? So, yeah, explore possibilities, and become possibilities. You are a canvas as well as the artist. You're in control of what you become, how you influence the world, and how it influences you. So my advice, and this is the final point, is to set the canvas, set your posture, your appearance, and experiment with different settings and places. And just by setting the canvas in the right setting, with the right posture and standing position, you will, just through the experience that follows, have different qualities drawn out and deepen the depth of your personality, which is always interesting, always fun. So evolve, push yourself, because you can't grow without pushing the barriers. It's the only way to grow. Anyway, this has been Walking and Talking with Phoenix. It's a pleasure to have taken up more of your time. Now I hope you spend more time doing something worthwhile besides just watching videos all day. How's that? Alright. No tidings. May the force be with you, yo. I've been shopping, yeah. And I just got an upgrade. I feel fantastic. Check out this little number. Seriously, I'm starting to feel like John Travolta right now. Loving it!